that they're changing my voice. So in the last video on this series, which is the first video of this series, I ended by saying that John 5:39 was saying that the false image of Christ, okay, is what they're referring to in the story, what the authors are referring to, what Christ as a character in the story is referring to. In other words, when it says, you study the scriptures diligently because you think that in them you have eternal life, but these are the very scriptures that testify about me, that it's saying that that false image of Christ, okay, which came after John, the book of John was written, mind you, is the mistake they're making. Well, it actually is. It is a physical representation of the mistake they're making. Some of you might have thought, hey, that guy doesn't know what he's talking about. That false image comes later. Remember the title of part 1, right? Wisdom, moral wisdom is the highest form of intelligence, and animus means spirit. Animus as a root term for the word animation, right? That drawing, the animation of Christ, which is, it's a false image of Christ. It's like a fairy tale. It's a cartoon. It is a sissy, hippie-looking, Judeo-Anglo-Germanic false image of Christ. Long-haired, gender-neutral, long-haired, false image. And we know this for many reasons. We compare it to Serapis and Zagreus and Dionysus and various depictions in Greek mythology. We see that the Greeks wanted people to worship their image, to worship their statue, right? Statue is a play on words for state. You state, the state you're in. State of being, what have you, mind, body, soul, and spirit. This is why they avoid martial arts like the plague, because martial arts proves them wrong. Martial arts are more serious than priests and Christians. Generally speaking, when we're talking about a moral martial artist, they take religion more seriously, they're willing to die more often, what have you. And they're on some Greek fraternity nonsense. Okay, so you study the scriptures diligently because you think that in them you have eternal life. These are the very scriptures that testify about me. Yet you refuse to come to me to have life, right? Martial is marital scrambled. I, Christ, am the top martial artist, the bridegroom, right? Marital is in marriage. I do not accept glory from human beings, but I know that you do not have the love of God in your hearts. I have come in my Father's name and you do not accept me. But if someone else came in his own name, you will accept him, right? Where it says he's the root and offspring of David and the bright morning star in Revelation 22:16. So you have David versus Goliath, David versus the Jebusites, David versus the Philistines, right? 2 Samuel 5 says David was anointed because he's a warrior king, same with Psalm 89. How can you believe since you accept glory from one another but do not seek the glory that comes from the only God, or only one?